everybody. I'm George.
And I'm Bob. We're the Shipping Goblins from Beetle and Grips. Today, we're going to talk about the amazing Map Vault Collection. And with the Map Vault Collection, you get a bunch of gorgeous two-sided maps, all scaled for standard minis.
Yeah, get yours now for the Map Vault Collection from Beetle and Grimm, and all the players at your table will be revved up and hyper because the only thing they'll be able to say is...
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Zoinks!
Yeah, do it again.
Zoinks!
Hello?
Who do you think you are?
Yes, Mr. Lillard.
You're just some common.
Yes, sir.
You can't just go off and use my
It's your
voice
thing.
like that. I have rights.
Completely. We just thought...
Wait,
okay.
I'm gonna take this right to the
yes, sir.
Beetle. Hey, Grim.
Thank you, sir.
What happened?
Matthew Lillard watches our show!
Zoinks!
Double
And hello, we should all be here. I don't know what Steve's doing, but we should be all here. He's trying to knock one out before we start the run. He's getting that nervous.
Wow. Wow.
So, hey everybody. Hello.
I was going to check to make sure we had sound and we was live. Bugger off now.
Well, you just did. So,
Setting the bar really low to start with, Dave. Let's see.
here we go. Hello, welcome to the Badgers. I'm Dave, your host for this evening. And this is the Great British Brush Off Technical Special. So something a little bit different. We haven't done one of these before. This is the first of a kind of a short mini-series. These are technical specials. So today's session, we are obviously joined by the fantastic, the great, the amazing Leia Robertson.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Otherwise known as Sorcerer's Sundries over on various socials. You can see in the live chat various stuff that's been going on in there. All the links you need are there. So today we are going to be learning how to paint eyes. Now, as always, with the Great British Brush Off, I am joined by Steve and Joe. Steve and Joe, how are you both doing?
Oh, good.
Good. We're looking for bragging rights. No judging tonight, so pressure's off, but bragging rights are still.
Oh, I think there'll still be a little bit of judging. If there's bragging, there's judging. Yeah, so, someone has to win. It won't be me, but I'm here along for the ride. But anyway, as always, thank you to Beetle and Grimms for supporting us in everything we do. Thank you also to Vallejo Paints for supplying some fantastic paints. Look, I've got a blue one. Thank you to Redgrass Games who have come on board and joined us in their latest support. We have this orange wet palette thing. You'll see that in a second, as we get to kind of play with these bits and pieces.
Mine's not orange anymore.
They are a game changer.
They are brilliant. They're absolutely superb. But most of all, thank you to you. Thank you to you for watching. Now, if you would like to support us, you can. Obviously, there's Twitch channel Prime sub things going on. We also have a Patreon. So if you would like to stop by there, please do. Now, if you don't know who Band of Badgers are, we are a social TTRPG club based in the UK. That's one thing of what we do. The streaming side of things of what we do is if you check out our YouTube channel with all our various content, you will see that every episode we have guests. Fantastic people like Leia who come on, who might do a bit of self-promotion, want to get noticed. We do what we call is Badger Bump for companies large and small, and even some individuals too. So we support writers, artists, designers, and all kinds of content creators all across the world. We're in the UK, Leia's off in the States. Fantastic.
Yep.
So, enough of that. We're going to get crack on with this one. Now, as we said, this particular episode is a technique special. We've done 2 seasons of the Great British Brush Off. We are complete amateurs, but we've come a long way. And what we wanted to do is try to do an episode like this. It might be an hour, it might be 2 hours, it might be an hour and a half. We don't know. We've never done one before. Is to see if we can paint something specific and really keep practicing, get it down. And hopefully you watching at home when you're painting your own minis, or if you want to paint along with us, please do, is to use these techniques and to make them as good as possible and clear and concise for you. Okay? So let's give that a go. Leia, over to you.
All right. So, like we said, we're going to be painting some eyes. Do we want to switch over cameras, or we want to talk about my technique first, I suppose?
Let's little bit of technique talk.
Little bit of
Technical
technique?
talk. What do people need to do? Let's
All
get
right.
people warmed up and ready.
So, first we're gonna grab all of our brushes. We're gonna need to make sure you have all your brushes.
Wow.
I literally just remembered that I haven't got any of my brushes out, so that's what I was just doing. I was like, probably help if I had a brush.
Yep, brushes. Make sure you have your paint jar, the water jar. Don't drink the water, please.
Yep.
We had that mistake happen last week on Good Morning RPG, and it was not fun.
Was that you or was
Paper
that
towel.
Matt?
It was Matt. Yep. I almost did it because I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at Twitch, and I reached over and grabbed my paint cup, which was right next to my water cup, which is, don't do that. And I put it up to my lips and then realized I didn't take a sip. Matt did drink his.
It's a rite of passage.
Rite of painter's passage, but please don't drink your paint. Please. So we've got a couple of colors that we're working with. We're going to be doing larger eyes. So this technique is going to be really good if you're doing miniatures that are a little bit more exaggerated, like what we're going to be working with today. We've got, each of us have a Reaper's Small World character. I even think we're all doing the same one. We're doing Lisette, that is 77719 from Reaper. So they've got nice big exaggerated eyes. If you want to use this technique at home, it's going to be really great for busts. So larger figurines, again, with larger eyes. And I will go over, while we're going through this, a little bit on how I paint normal 28 millimeter eyes, which is a little more simplified than what we're going to be doing today. But I'm super excited to run these guys through this, because everybody does eyes very differently from what I've seen, having watched Brush Off. Got lots of people who do skin tone first and then do eyes over top. I start every mini with painting my eyes first. So I've got nice, fresh miniatures. So I'm really excited about this. We're gonna make a mess. It's gonna be great.
It's definitely going to be a mess. Yes. Let's give it a try.
All right. So do we want to switch over
Let's switch over the cameras.
our cameras?
Ooh. In one foul, smooth move there.
Ooh.
Here we go. Oh,
Bang.
yeah. Here we go.
So we've got our cool Lisette. She's got a cool sword and this cool staff. That's what that word is. And it looks like you guys have just taken yours out of your boxes, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yep. Already unboxed.
All right. Okay, cool. I did give mine just a really quick prime with just a Vallejo airbrush primer, which is for Reaper miniatures specifically. If you're going to be working with them, you want to make sure you do, because although they say that they are ready to paint, I do tend to like the little bit more matted primer opposed to the shiny plastic that is ready to be painted on. So what we're gonna do, I gotta make sure I find the right paintbrush. All right, so I'm gonna grab my number 0 round brush from Art Stick here, and we're gonna start with some cold white, and we're just gonna lay in our base coat for the eyes.
Okay, so straight into white across the whole eye.
Yep.
And are we going outside? Are we doing like the eyebrow, or are you just trying to get it in the? Because
I just get it right in there. So like you'll see that I'm not being particularly it's a little hard to see the white against this light gray, but I am just laying it in there. I'm not caring if I go outside of the eye. Now when I'm painting regular 28 millimeter miniatures, what I'll do with the white is I actually just paint the white straight across, like I'm making like a band across the middle of the face. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. Again, it's really hard to see with this light gray and the white. But it is just, I've painted it almost all over the eye, up to the eyebrows, down to this cheekbone here. Don't worry about being messy about it, because we're going to make it nice and clean once we get to the skin tone, which is probably going to be a little bit further down. And white is tough to paint, so we're probably going to have to put one or probably 2 coats on here. Nice thin.
so it's kind of like a superhero mask.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've had it related to. It is very much like once you get the blacks on the eye, it will look like a superhero miniature.
Cool.
But we're gonna even all that out once the skin tone is on, then it looks cool. All right. Let's get my second coat on here. Make sure that you guys get that under, like right under, she's got a bit of an eyelash. So
Yeah.
make sure we get
paintbrushes
up into there.
An adamant special, yes. All those that know who Adamant is.
Ugh. Start shaking my blue. This is so eerie. It's like there's no face on my miniature.
Avoid.
I've got a second mini as well. I've got my one ready, so I'm gonna let the first one kind of dry and then get a coat on the other one.
Overachiever.
It's not a bad charge. Yeah.
Should I have prepped a second mini? Do I need to go grab one? I'm gonna be outdone by Dave.
You're gonna be outdone by the amateur.
I know.
We literally figured out, because we've now done 2 seasons of brush off. Was it 22 or 24 hours, Steve?
At the end of season 2, you've totaled 24 hours on the clock.
So literally been painting for 24 hours. And I'm on my second mini. Hey, look how much I'm learning. Be like pro painting with Dave. Learn how to paint
so then
eyes.
you're going to teach us how to paint eyes then tonight, right?
I have no
That's
idea.
Work?
But I have been looking. There are lots of different ways and techniques to do it. And when it was the first episode of season 2 of our brush off, where you was our first guest.
Yep.
And literally the opening sequence to season 2 is, I'm going to teach you how to paint eyes. And it was great. It was great. And straight away, from doing and following Leia's instructions on that show, you could see like, wow, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I should have grabbed a rig.
Say that at that point I'd never been bothered by the lack of eyes in my minis previously. But since then, every time I don't paint eyes, I look at it and go, that face looks weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Put that one down there.
That's how I used to feel for a really long time when my miniatures just had eyebrows. When I didn't do any eyes or anything like that, I was like, oh, we'll just put the eyebrows in and it'll look fine. And now I look back at those miniatures and I'm like, what was I thinking? All right. So let me know when you guys are ready to move on. We've got enough layers. I'm pretty sure my paint has dried. If not, I'm going to embrace the chaos and paint over it anyways.
I'm applying the second coat to the first mini now.
See, you got ahead of yourself. You grabbed a second miniature, and now you're behind already.
But I will have 4 eyes, damn it.
I always have 4 eyes. Oh gosh.
So, Leia, as well as painting minis, which you take commissions for and everything else.
We do, yeah.
You've I brought this up when Matt was on. He guested on our show a while back. How is the breakfast show going? The Aussie breakfast show going?
Oh yeah, our Aussie breakfast show. It's actually really fun. So far we have, oh goodness, I think for our first episode we just painted whatever the heck we wanted. I got a really cool Hero Forge mini finished. Actually, I've got him right here. I'm just gonna show this off real quick because he's really cool looking. I got this really cool Hero Forge mini that I got to do. This is for my husband's Kensai monk character for our new campaign.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's super cool. I'm really digging the Hero Forge, especially now that I have a 3D printer and I can print all of my stuff out. I think then we got to do some Warhammer tanks, which was a lot of fun. Last week we painted dragons.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of shenanigans. Like I said last week, Matt he drank his paint water, despite me asking him not to. And then yesterday I was actually on the regular talk show version. So we do Good Morning RPG twice a week. First on Sundays here in the States and the UK, and then on Wednesdays here. And so I got to go on yesterday, and we talked about Vassin, actually. We talked about our experience with Band of Badgers, because we both guested with on Vassin. We got to really reminisce about how much fun and chaos that was, and how much fun we had with the Badgers group. So that was, it's a lot of fun. Cool. The Good Morning RPG show is pure fun and shenanigans.
I think when I've because I did Jasper's game day with Matt as well, and that was my first time playing with him. Because obviously when he's been on Badgers, it's been on other shows, and until we finally got him on onto my show, onto Rune Lords. And it's great. I mean, he is a born presenter. He is fantastic. No matter what you want to do, his game, he's up for anything. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. So yeah, we're keen to do some more.
I'm gonna take some of my dark blue. So I've got some dark Prussian blue, dark Prussian blue that I'm gonna use. And first, I'm gonna kind of decide where I want this character to be looking. So if you guys look at this miniature, she's standing, when she's standing straight forward, she is turned slightly to the side. So first we want to decide where our eyes are going to be looking, especially with these more exaggerated miniatures. That's a really important part of deciding where your iris is going to be. So I'm going to have her looking off to the side a little bit. So I'm going to put just 2 dabs of paint where I'm going to have probably the blacks of the eyes, but just so I can kind of figure out where that looks so disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So I'm going to put 2 little dots where I want to have the eyes kind of looking. And then I'm going to make, instead of circles, because again, these are exaggerated eyes, we're going to make slight ovals, kind of in that more anime style, I suppose. If these weren't such exaggerated, like Disney looking eyes, we'd probably do them a little bit more circular. but these are going to be probably a little bit more oblong. So after I figured out where these, the centers of these eyes are going to be, I'm going to just make circles around them, I guess is the best way to describe it.
And you've used black or you've used the eye color?
I've used the eye color.
Cool. I'm going to try.
So you're going to colour a large circle, the same colour as the iris, out to the full extent.
Yeah.
Right to finish. Are you taking your eyes all the way to the edges?
Yeah, so I'm taking them all the way up and down. This is going to be probably, I think I made them too much like a U right now, but you can always go back and touch up. But like right now, I've, like for this eye, it has gone all the way to, from the top of the eyelid to the bottom eyelid. So they are cut off, much like natural eyes, I suppose, because you don't always see 100% of your cornea. I know biology.
We're
sort
doing
of.
this in the sort of colour of
Yeah.
like
Colour,
blue or whatever.
The iris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I've decided to go for the two most hated colours. So we've already done white.
White and yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah.
You're doing yellow eyes.
Yes, I'm doing yellow eyes. And the reason I'm doing yellow eyes is I'm going with sun yellow because I want to give her green hair. And I was going for something that was sort of clashing for eye colour and hair colour.
Actually, I think I am going to grab another miniature real quick. Luckily, I'm surrounded by them.
Ooh, that's really off centre. Thumbs.
My mini cam is frozen.
Mine's,
Yeah.
mine's not focusing on this now. There we go.
So yeah. So is that
Yes.
is that looking right, Leia?
So it looks like you're actually giving her more of like a natural eye. So I guess I'm going for more of an exaggerated look. So I've got, oh, come on, focus. Don't focus on my rings, please. So I've gone as really, come on.
You got
One of those technical days.
Have you got a piece of paper or something?
Well, that's why the black is underneath.
Oh yeah.
So it will stop focusing on things that are not. So what I've done, so you've got like a really nice, like if you wanted a more, I don't want to say realistic because it's not realistic, but like more natural looking.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've gone for the smaller eyes. It might be a little bit tough to get the blacks of the eyes in. That's probably the size that you've done your green would be probably about the size of what I would do for the blacks.
Okay, so I need to go bigger, but in that kind of position.
Yeah, that positioning is good. So if you can see a little bit here, I've got her eye going, I guess you can't because this doesn't want to focus. But from the top of the, where that exaggerated like eyelashes are, to the bottom crease is essentially, I've taken it to like an elongated oval, essentially.
Okay, let's try.
And I was gonna show you guys.
It's really making me stick my tongue out.
No judgment here.
No. It's,
So while I'm waiting for you guys to figure that out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a regular miniature. So here's a regular 28 millimeter miniature. And so you can see that the her face is as big as one of these characters' eyes.
Wow.
I guess I should probably, since my camera doesn't want to focus, I'll just give a little, I'm going to give a little hand demonstration because my camera won't focus on my miniature. So for anybody at home who wants to know how I paint miniature eyes on regular 28 millimeter miniatures, 28 millimeter miniatures. Yeah. What you normally do is, so I would take my white, and what I'm going to do is I paint right across the face. Again, like I said, kind of like making a mask. So you start from one temple and go all the way across to the second temple. And then once you've got that color down, what you do with a nice thin brush is you're going to take your color and you basically just make vertical lines right in. It's the same thing for like what we're doing right now. You decide where your eyes are going to be facing, and then you just take vertical lines and you paint them right across that section of the eye where you want it to be basically looking.
Mm-hmm.
And for 28 millimeter miniatures, this looks perfectly convincing for an eye. Because if you look at anybody's face, you know, you can tell slightly that the eye is, the cornea is rounded. But when you're looking far away, like when I look at Joe's face, you know, I can't quite see the roundness of his eyes because he's so far away from me, or because his video capture is so small. So what I'm going to do is just kind of inlay the impression of where our eyes are. And then once we get that down, what I would do is I would take a little bit of black. I didn't have any black on my palette. So what I would end up doing is taking a little bit of black, and then normally with most miniatures, you have little indentations where the eyelids meet the actual eye. And I would just take that and work my black around those crevices. Just like that. And it doesn't matter that the lines are overextended over the cheekbones.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just do a top and bottom lid over top of that eye. And then you've got the impressions of eyes. Those are really lopsided because I'm just doing them on my hands and I'm not following any kind of indentation. This eye is really crummy. The one, this eye right here is actually quite a good eye. And then once you put the skin tone in, because what you're going to do is get the skin tone in close enough to this black to make it look like you're just giving the impression of eyelashes. And that's how you do eyes on regular miniatures. We're gonna go back to this guy. So Joe, Baron Snowhand wants to know if you are painting that to look like Jack Truehammer.
Oh, Jack Tunehammer. Jack Tunehammer's a character in the Avernus game that we have on a Saturday evening.
Gotcha.
Played by Josh Maguire. He, in the last session, managed to spill some demon ichor on himself, and his head grew to twice its normal size. So,
Oof.
What an unusual curse for a bard.
And a halfling.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So he looks like one of these minis, really.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. And so since we're doing the more exaggerated faces, I have taken my lighter color here and I've just put a little bit on the tip of my brush and I am just dabbing it along the area. So I'm going to have my light is going to come from this side right here. So when I paint this miniature, I will, knowing where I've put the little highlight of the eye, this will help me remember that my sunlight is going to be coming from like on the top of her head here and shining down this way. So what I'm doing is I've taken a little bit of this medium blue and I've just tapped it on the left-hand side of the eye, kind of like a J, essentially. Since I'm doing more oval-sized eyes, I'm just doing a line, like a J figure.
So, and this is the darker color.
I'm taking, this is the lighter color
lighter
over
color.
the darker.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you mess it up too much because we're going to put the black. I really shouldn't have used this dark blue because we're never going to see that black. So again, I guess I'm just going to use my hand again. Very professional of me. Actually, I've got this piece of paper. So we've taken our eye and it's a white piece of paper, so I'm just going to do this. So we've basically painted our circular eye. This is kind of how I'm going to do this much larger so it makes a little bit more sense. So we've done kind of a more stylized circular eye or oval shaped eye here. This is really messy, but there's miniature paint on a piece of paper, so I guess it's okay. Just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Dear Lord. All right, we're gonna pretend I know how to paint symmetrical things on flat paper. It's funny, I can paint great on miniatures, I cannot paint on flat surfaces.
Yeah, my daughter was asking me to draw her like an animal. It was like a giraffe or something, and I was like, I can't draw. She's like, but you can paint. It's like,
Not the same thing.
that's totally
That's
two
just
totally
colouring
different things. Yeah. It's 3D coloring in.
So what we've done, so this is my eye here. What we're going to do is we're going to take this light blue color and we're going to almost do a small J, just like that. Now, granted, when we're painting, you're only going to be really painting this section right here because this is going to be the top and the bottom of the eye. So really, we're only getting a small portion of the eye.
And for the other eye, is it in the same position or reversed?
Yes. So if you think of, if that's where the light is going to come from, that is, your eyes are going to have, they're going to look like you copied and pasted the eye in the same position because the light is still coming from that section.
Yeah.
Also, as you've got a wet palette, if you don't have a light color, you can just add some white.
There is that also.
There you go.
This also keeps it in generally in the same color family as well. Which is important most of the time. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit more darker blue. So I think I went a little overboard with my light blue here. quiet concentration of eye painting
It is trying
is,
to get
is
that in there.
palpable.
Right, Steve, how you doing? He's got spot hands now. Turn him, unmute himself.
I was okay until I've just put the bloody. I'm trying to paint in over where I went a bit vicious with the white paint for the eye. I was trying to paint round and I've gone too far into the eye with the flesh tone. Annoying.
With the flesh tone. Did you say with the flesh tone you already painting skin over there?
Yeah, I was trying to, because I went a bit wild with the white and I was trying to pick out the shadows. Yeah.
Right, really liking that. It's looking nice and super cool over here.
I think my colours are probably too similar. They just look like they've blended in. Which
Your dark and light.
yeah, this might not be a bad thing, but
It's not a bad thing. No, not necessarily. That's why when I tend to pick colors, if I'm gonna do anything large and exaggerated, I tend to pick a color that is much darker than my goal and then much lighter. Because I do want that more exaggerated color change. But you could absolutely do, if you want something a little bit more subtle and not kind of in your face. That is absolutely fine. Ooh.
Baron's asking you if your minis are winking, Steve.
No, they're not. No, they are not. I'm just pleased that I've got it both looking in the same direction.
Yeah, mine. I went for an evil wizard with red eyes. Was my thought process.
If you're doing red eyes, it might be, so you don't have to do pink. It would be maybe advantageous to do like a bright orange.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
So batch up.
I mean, you can do pink if you want to. There's nothing wrong with pink.
Nope, that is a good job.
I think my eyes have gone wonky.
every now and then I have to refocus.
Your actual eyes.
No, I mean my miniature's eye.
Oh.
I was going, my eyes, like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, your actual eyes, my miniature's eye. I got like one eye that's like tilted to the side. Like, wait a second, that's not right. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Getting away from me right now.
Baron, I have gone for green. I have two minis. I've gone for green just because I don't want to get confused. So, the first one This one I've done smaller eyes, maybe, possibly. And this one I've done
Okay.
bigger eyes, maybe, possibly.
I think they both look really good. I think you've got like a more natural look, whereas like I'm going for the more exaggerated, like cartoony style.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you've got that more subtle, like as I said, not like realistic because these are like basically chibi characters, but a more realistic look. I like it. I like that. Should have done that, but I didn't think of that. I did what I did. This is my life, and I have to. I bet I could scrub mine out and make them look like that.
You have another mini. Just grab another mini. And
No,
then...
it's all the way back there, though.
Oh.
I got a regular 28 millimeter mini, but then I realized that is way too small to do any kind of demonstration on. So that's why I opted for characters that had large, exaggerated eyes.
Yeah, it's a nice thing actually, because the 28mm minis, and it's great. Again, this is the idea is to not paint the mini. It is to kind of focus on how do you practice doing eyes, and having these big eyes is great practice.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
And anyone who's looking into these are Reaper bones. Get them from pretty much any hobby store. I got these ones from Reaper Direct, and these are the Small World set. There are 6 in the set, as far as we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the Wizard.
They're super fun.
Barbarian. And you know their bases are still the same size base. You can put these on the map. You can use these instead.
Can I show you what I've been trying to do?
All right. What we got, Steve?
So I've got the yellow in,
Mm-hmm.
and what I was trying to do is line around the outside of the
Okay.
iris in purple.
It definitely shows. Like I when you said that you put the yellow on there and then you took purple and put the lines around, I definitely think that makes a really striking impact. I really like that. And then if you decide to put the iris in, I think that'll look really cool. I really like where you're going with that, actually.
Zoom in,
Because
Steve.
I've done, yeah.
Can you get closer?
There you go. So because I've gone for the lining around the outside of the iris, would you go with a small pupil?
Yeah, I would.
Pupil.
I would probably go with a smaller pupil. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I'm gonna take some white, and I'm gonna just swipe it under the bottoms of my eyes to make them look like they're smaller and rounder.
Thanks, Baron.
How are you doing, Joe? Have you finished?
I'm doing all right. And yeah, I'm doing a blue set of eyes on the female character and a red set on the wizard, male wizard.
So, Joe, I have a question for you. When you're doing Warhammer painting,
Yes.
is there much well for your orcs? Is there much call for eyes on other stuff that you paint? I suppose it is for orcs, but
So when I was painting my orcs, I would literally just either not do them and just shade them, so just do a wash, so you'd get like a recessed, or I would literally just do a red line for those. The Necrons that I'm painting at the minute have got almost like Terminator-like eyes. I don't know if they're going to focus. Yeah. So I was half thinking of going through and doing a couple with just like one red dotted eye. But the armies that I play at the minute don't have much call for needing to do eyes. There's I think Will's in chat. He said ages ago that I hate painting eyes, and that's why I put full helmets on all of my Space Marines.
Yup. Yep.
But hopefully this might help him and make
I feel
him
like
change his
even
mind.
even painting the Space Marines like glassed helmets is a feat all on its own because you need to understand how glass reflects.
See, but I really like painting faces. Like on my Orc minis, like that's my favorite part to paint because there's so much fine detail in it and there's so much character and it like comes to life once.
Oh yeah. I think that's a really great thing about Warhammer is Warhammer has some really spectacularly detailed miniatures, which I mean, like I don't really have an army, but I do play around with painting Sisters of Battle, and I like doing the faces because they do have so much emotion.
Mhm.
And doing the helmets is fun too, but like I'm okay at getting nice reflective glass in the helmets, but there are lots of people who can make those little eye bits look so super cool, especially when you choose the right colors. Hey Joe, it'll be cheap to do all of your eyes.
No, can't do eyes. Deliberately don't use librarians as they can't wear helmets.
eyes painted
Eyes
by
by commission.
commission.
Hey, I have said to him in the past if he wants any characters that are not wearing any helmets, I'd happily paint the heads for him. So,
Imagine if Games Workshop just imposed this rule that 1/3 of your list has to have
has
no
to be-
helmets.
Yeah.
Ouch.
They can only attack in the direction they're looking.
Yeah.
They have that rule in Necromunda,
Really?
which is like a sort of game that Warhammer does. Yeah, so when you're moving your mini, you need to make sure that you're putting it in the direction you want it to shoot when you're placing it down. It's got like a zone in front of it, like a 45-degree angle that it can shoot.
I do that in Dungeons and Dragons, and I know that's not necessary, but I just feel like it's thematic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
face the direction.
It's like
Yeah.
my husband will just like throw minis down onto the table, and I'm like, no, they must be looking at the direction that I'm going. How do I know what I'm doing if I'm not facing in the direction?
Yeah, I do get that though. Like, if you've got the minis that have got a helmet in their hand, why wouldn't you put your helmet on? Like,
Yeah.
like it's extra armor. Surely you get shot in the head.
Yeah. I got some shit for that because I painted a commander and just for like funsies, painting a Space Marine commander, and he's got his helmet on his hip.
Mhm.
My buddy's like, why isn't your commander wearing a helmet? I was like, he's not my commander. He's just a showpiece. And shut up.
Yeah, it's like the ones that have got what we called the shoot me hats, which are the ones that have got the big like ruffle thing that goes across like a mohawk type effort.
Uh-huh.
Like, why would you walk through a battle with like this massive like almost Roman style thing?
Like the flag bearers.
Yeah.
Pointing at you
Yeah.
to get shot, isn't it?
It looks like Will Dockrell says helmetless models should have a -1 to toughness. Truth.
Oh, I've
so
done
because
my J's.
So because I liked Dave's model so much, I went through and meticulously took white and painted underneath the eye to make them round because I liked them so much. So now I have nice round eyes.
You heard
And I
it here,
like them much
folks.
better.
You heard it first here, folks. The pro artist taking advice from an amateur.
Wasn't taking advice. It was.
You saw what I'd done and copied it.
You granted me some inspiration, all right? I have been granted inspiration. I used it.
Mine is a happy accident. I have no idea how to do this.
Hey, that's fine though. Like happy accidents happen all the time. Like, hey, I didn't mean for it to look that good, but it looks that good.
Baron, you should clip that bit.
So yeah, I've got
Professional
the
artist.
sort of J reflection light source.
All right.
Sorted.
So what I'm gonna do next is I've taken my. I'm actually now using a Warhammer detail brush
A tiny
from
brush.
Army Painter, and I've just dabbed a little bit of black on the tip of my paintbrush, and I am just, since we're doing more rounded eyes and I'm not doing oval eyes anymore, normally, so if anybody wants to do the more ovally eyes, this is something that you want to do on a miniature at home, what you would do is you would take your paintbrush and you would take it from the middle of the eye and drag it up. So it looks like the iris is going up. It's going to be, it's a very anime look. And if that's what you're going for, totes, all in.
Cool.
But because we have, it looks like most of us have rounded eyes, what we're going to do is we're going to just take the tip of our brush with a little bit of black on it, and we're just going to take the center of the eye, and we're just going to put a little black dot. No one's going to be able to tell because unfortunately I chose a really dark blue, but it's the thought that counts.
So this is, okay, so a tiny dab of black.
Yeah, we're just making little circles of black in the center of our eye. You're probably, because your eye is focused higher on the eyelid, it is going to be very close to that top crease.
Steady those hands. Steady those hands.
Don't forget your tripod handling if you need it. Tuck in those elbows, boys. I can't tell the black from blue, so I'm just going to call that okay. Oh, hashtag poor paint choices.
Okay.
Don't think I've made a two-ball side.
Did you put the black in?
I have,
Or-
yeah.
I
Let's see if we can get closer.
don't see it.
Focus?
It's
I literally did a tiny dot there, so
it's gonna make your person look like they've got super tiny dilated eyes. See what Dave did?
larger.
Be
Right.
more like Dave.
Oh, he's going to be dining off that for months.
Yeah, why
Clip
would
it.
you do this to us?
Baron, keep clipping it. Keep clipping it. This is gold.
Those are looking really good.
I'm going to have to look now, Dave. Let's have a butcher's.
So
Can you
Dave,
see it?
do you have is she looking more off to like the sword side? Is that what's going
she's
on?
kind of. I'm not really sure.
I'm getting that impression. It does look like your one dot on the staff side staff side of her face is a little close to the inside of her face.
She's
She looks
kind
a
of
little-
like. She's a little angry. Because the physical aspect
yeah.
of the model is the head is slightly down.
Yeah.
And the face is towards the staff, and it's kind of like, who's that? But she's angry.
Yeah.
She's like, who? So she's
I
kind
get
of.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get that. It looks like you either want to put more green on the inside of that staff side eye,
Yeah.
or you want to move that paint over that black bit with green and move the iris over a little bit more to the center of that green. Because right now it looks like her iris, like if her eye's here, it looks like her iris is over here.
Right.
Like it's not quite
Yeah.
centered.
She's
Or
wonky.
I'm just, my eyes have gone completely crossed.
No, I think she's definitely wonky. She's off balance. But
Okay.
yeah, I can. If I put more green on the inside bit.
Yeah, just a smidgen.
Yeah. I had to hold my breath when I was painting that one. That was tough.
Focusing. Can't see.
It's focused,
Those look
Steve.
good, Joe.
Huh?
That looks good, Joe. Your staff side iris looks a little bit larger than sword side,
Yeah, I think so too.
but I think staff side is the way you want to go. That's how I'm just gonna orient my
Yeah.
staff side and sword side. I like where you're going with that, Steve. I really like. She got crazy look going on.
No, she's making bigger.
See, this is also going to really help with my beholder.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
So what I did when I painted a beholder, I just took the bottom of a rounded brush and I just like put it in the paint and went boop, boop, boop. And it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Baron Snowhand says, just to say she has a glass eye, and if anyone asks, it's meant to look like that.
Yeah, this should be how to paint lazy eyes.
I will admit, when you first start out painting eyes, all of your eyes will look lazy. Everyone's got lazy eyes. Dave, that looks really good. You are on the right track right there. I think that looks really good.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Camera, I know you'll focus. Is it because there's cat hair on my mat? Oh, there we go. Oh, look at it. Look at it while it's focused. Oh,
Yeah, missed it.
missed it. Oh,
It's coming back.
there we go.
Yeah.
For a second. My camera's really confused. Brush bottom boops for the win. Pro borrowing a happy little accident. You're doing really good, Dave.
I'm enjoying it. That's the best thing.
I think
we've got.
That's what we need to do. Is we need to have you paint really big stuff all the time.
Well, we so one of the things we've got
Funny you should say
planned,
that.
yeah, is it's not exactly a technique special, but we're going to do it as like a hangout.
Mm-hmm.
Is and I was talking to Matt about this because we were also going to be doing dragons, and I was showing him what we had booked in, and it was like, oh yeah, there be dragons. He goes, oh, we were going to call our program that. I said, go on then. I said, I haven't got no one's got copyright on there be dragons, so just go for it. But yeah, we're going to be doing bigger monsters, not as the big monsters that you've got, but I want to do something that's slightly larger. I haven't got any here ready, but
Well, I think I did an adult, or I did a young blue dragon for our dragon special,
I'm definitely gonna.
which was like a lot of fun. I don't think I can handle doing anything bigger than that. Like Matt wants to do super big stuff, and I was like, I really only have 2 settings. I've got like large creatures or like Tiamat over here.
Yeah. Gargantuans. But it is something like WizKids have their paint night box sets, and I finally found someone in the UK that sells them. So I'm hoping to maybe do something with those. But those are nice sized.
Yeah, I ordered
miniatures.
what's that? Start playing box or the
troll.
3-headed troll? Yeah,
The dire troll, yeah.
Sweet. Those are really cool looking.
yeah. I just wanted to paint it. I thought it looks really cool. not so happy with the eyes on my wizard as I am on.
I like that red and orange that you had going on.
Yeah, I just don't know if I'm. One eye looks a lot smaller than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I can fix it by just going around the outside and.
Yeah.
Right.
If there's, oh yeah, I definitely see the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, like this eye, this side is a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm. If there's anything that I've learned when it comes to eyes, there is a lot of go back and forth. I know while you guys have been painting stuff, I have been going back and forth with making an eye a little bit smaller, making it a little bigger. Like I went through with the white and made them a little bit more rounded after I saw how cool Days looked.
Clip it.
So there is. It's already clipped. It's been done. We've already done it.
Clip it again. No one will believe me. I need proof.
You know, I'm going to stop talking because apparently all I can do is boost Dave's ego. And that needs to stop now. We're going to nip that in the bud right now.
22 hours.
Well, no, it looks like he's been punched in that eye. Tried to fix it and made it worse.
I've got.
That's okay. You just keep going bigger on the other sides until it's the whole eye.
Yeah.
So you want to know what? He's possessed. It's fine.
Yeah.
So my
looks
my
good.
barbarian's
Look good.
looking very moody.
She looks extra moody.
She's glaring. Brr.
I almost painted that miniature. I wanted to because she got a cool axe.
It's very Assassin's Creed. Because
It is,
you've
yeah.
got that, and on the back of her hand, she actually has like a wrist knife.
Yeah.
But on the back
It's funny
of her
you
hand.
should say that because that's the reason why I bought mine.
Oh, cool.
Baron Snowhand says that if I don't stop by the end of the stream, Dave's head will be as big as the minis.
Yeah, it'll be as big as Jack Toonhammer's, doubled in size.
I'm sorry.
What if that
Nothing but compliments in my heart. I can't help it. Does everybody have at least one miniature done? Looking at you, Joe.
I think both of mine are now sorted.
Yeah.
I've kind of corrected it.
Steve, how we doing with your irises?
Yeah, I'm happy size-wise, I think.
Yeah.
So what God gave you, Steve?
Shut up, Joe. I think those look really good. I think they look good, Steve. I really like that yellow. Did you do black for the irises as well, or is that purple?
That's black. It's
That's
hard
black?
to tell the difference because the purple, when
Mhm.
it's set on top of the yellow, tends to go like a browny colour.
Uh-huh. It almost looks like you used the same color for the iris as you did for that outside bit. Those look really, really cool.
I'm wondering whether to do eyeliner because I'm using a very, very pale skin tone.
Yeah, you're gonna want something to separate because it is almost hard to see the eye versus the skin, like
Yeah.
the whites. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing next. We're gonna actually be doing the eyeliner. It's not really eyeliner. We're giving the impression of eyelashes. And Joe, it looks like you did a good job of at least evening up the size of your wizard's eyes.
Yeah.
That looks good. I think those look good. I think you're in a good spot. So we're going to go back into our black again. And we're going to follow that indentation where the eye meets the face, essentially. We're just going to run black along that. Now, this doesn't matter if you get it all over the face. Our concentration is making really nice, clean lines that are butted up to the whites of the eyes. That's really where it's important. Get it all over the face if you want. It'll make harder to paint the skin tone later, but really the important part is what you get that's right next to your eye. So that is what we're going to do. And just follow that little ditch.
Just going to say hi to Lucilla. How you doing? Thanks for joining us again. We saw you
Hello,
yesterday,
hello.
and you joined us today again. Thank you very much. And Baron, no, I do not have a big head. Okay, so we're just going to follow the eye. Whoa, tricky. How? Because on these particular minis, the bottom of the eye goes quite high, so we literally want from corner all the way along the bottom to other corner of the
Yep.
eye.
Yep. So
Okay.
like I've done the bottoms of my eyes here, and essentially all I've done is I've run the paint brush almost parallel to the face,
Yeah.
and just butted it up against that little crease right there. In sewing, we have a technique that's called stitch in the ditch. This is very much like that, where you're just putting that paint just where that crease is between the eyeball proper and the skin.
Oh, it's very...
Baron Snowhands, thank you for clipping that, by the way.
What is that? I'm on my tablet, so I don't see
It says, shut up, Joe.
that.
Oh, my hand's shaking. And I missed.
So when we're finished here, our minis will very much look like raccoons.
That's okay. We're
But that's
badgers.
okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. We're badger.
Ooh. You can hear the concentration.
Yep. I can hear the gears grinding from over here.
Concentration is deafening.
Oh yeah, she looks way more serious once she's got the blacks on her eye.
Yeah.
Is this just to give it like more definition or like low lights or?
So this is gonna be, so once we get the skin tone in, this is gonna give us the impression of like eyelashes. It will also, especially for lighter skin tones, this is less important when you're doing darker skin tones, like browns, blacks. But when you're doing even like tans and whatnot, you want to be able to differentiate your skin tone from the eyes. So whereas I'm going to be using a fair, what is this? Fair skin from Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty light colored skin tone. And so in order to differentiate the whites of the eyes from the skin tone, we want this to kind of break up the face.
Okay. Are you going over the top as well? Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
Yep. I went all the way around over those top eyelashes. Like I said, they look a little bit like raccoons. You have raccoons, we have badger. Ah! I hate those like dried paint plugs in like the tops of your paints.
Oh
can't-
yeah. That's how I managed to spray like medium all over my desk
Oh,
because I tried to squeeze it and the whole top bit came off instead of the. I didn't even squeeze it that hard.
So that's how you get the someone's getting stabbed in the eyes?
That's how you get the someone's getting stabbed in the eyes.
Okay. It's like that phrasing doesn't quite make enough sense, but maybe it's a slang something.
Hmm. So that's how you get the somebody's getting stabbed in the eyes look.
Ah. Yep. Yep. Intensely watching everybody's miniature painting here. Not that I can see what Joe's actually painting.
Sorry. So I'm trying to like look.
That's why I've got like my camera is so close to me. It's like almost in my lap. So I can paint with my elbows in and like tripod hand it. Looks good.
Let's focus.
You're trying to paint so nicely. I just appreciate that.
Who, me?
Yeah. Oh, Steve, that looks real good. You're doing it real clean because I know you said you did your skin tone first, yeah?
Hang on. Yes, I did.
That looks really clean. I think that looks really, she's looking real good. What color did you say you were going to be doing her hair?
Green.
It's going to look really cool. I can't wait to see that when it's all painted up.
Probably that one.
Ooh.
I was
Real
in
crazy.
two minds whether to do the goblin green or the livery green.
Ooh. That's a tough choice. Tough choice.
This is the one I'm scared to do because I've painted it already.
Yeah, that's why I always do the eyes first, because then I don't have to worry about anything else. Then the face is done.
Yeah. Yep. So I was going to do grey eyes.
I like that. That's really clean.
So I might have to pencil the eyes in to follow.
Yeah. Baron says, give her streaks of goblin. That
That's
could be
a good
cool.
idea, actually. Yeah.
It's actually really cool. There's also, if you don't paint anything before you paint the hair on her, you can do the technique where you take a wide brush and you put the dark on one side and light on the other, and you just blend them, and then do like the bottoms of her hair in like the darker color or the lighter color. That could look kind of cool.
Right, yeah.
Joe, you paint so clean. We got raccoons over here. You paint so clean. It looks like Dave's got a good hand on what's going on over there. She looks extra angry now with all the black around her face.
Yeah, it's very almost demonic now, I think.
I do have like the superhero mask thing going on though.
That's cool.
Where is he? There you go.
I like the wizard one.
Yeah.
The wizard one is really cool. I realized that I actually have the Reaper's Bones version of the regular wizard as well, which is super adorable.
Yeah, like I said to you beforehand, I wanna try like object source lighting is the thing that I want to next learn to like nail down. And I'm thinking of the staff being like magic and radiating onto his hat, and then maybe like something coming from the scroll and like lighting up his beard and the bottom half of him.
That's a super cool idea.
So you'd have like color from one side and then a different color from the other.
That's a cool idea. Oh, there's another miniature that somebody that is often painted like that. It's like the Magus. I think he's a popular Pathfinder character.
Magus?
Magus, yeah. He's got like a bird in his hand. I often seen him painted with object source lighting.
Yeah, I've never attempted it before, so it's something that
I attempted it once. It went horribly. I haven't tried it ever since. Although I do have a really cool miniature that my husband bought the 3D print file for. And she's like a woman that's got robot arms and a gas mask. And she's got like her hair is flowing. And she's just like sitting cross-legged on the ground. And I think I want to do airbrush OSL on her. Where I just like spray it from one side, and I think it's just be so freaking cool. One day.
I was using, for the really small stuff as well, I was using our super small red grass paintbrush.
Ooh.
What we got. So
As Baron says, purple from the scroll side and a green blue from the staff could look really cool with his eyes, with the red eyes.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to move on to the next thing, or is everybody still working on their eyeliner?
I'm ready.
I think I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've already worked in a little bit of my skin tone here, so I'm just waiting for that to dry. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to take our skin tone, and then we're going to start further away from the face and then just work very slowly towards the eye until you get a nice kind of line next to the eye. And that can be as thin or as thick as you would like. I kind of like very... personally, I tend to like very thin lines. Like you can that's almost completely imperceptible actually. That line that I just made. Focus. Get my hand out of the way, I suppose. It doesn't want to focus, but the theory is still there. So you're going to load up your brush with your skin tone color, and then just slowly. I guess I'll do the hand version again. We're going to slowly work it towards the eye black until we get a nice thin line next to the eye. And depending on what kind of character you're painting, you can either leave the eye black very thick or very thin. As I said, as far as personal taste goes, I like a nice thin kind of black around the eye, so I tend to get really close in there. And if you're using a lighter skin tone, you might have to kind of go around the eyes a couple of times to cover the black that you used on the eye. But as long as you're using nice thin coats of paint, it shouldn't be too hard to. You won't gunk up the face too much.
So again, we're just flesh tone
Yep.
over the black.
Yep.
Because in that
And
darker
then
tone
when
will
you
feed
feel,
through. Yeah.
so I'm still using my detail brush, which is a fairly small brush even for this kind of work. And then once you start when you won't feel comfortable enough, you can just start working the brush very slowly closer to the face, closer to the eye, until you have a nice little line between the iris and your skin tone.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush, I think. How you doing, Steve?
Think nearly happy with that.
Steve's ahead of the 8 ball because he did his skin tone first. If you get too close and you get into the eye, you can take a smidge of water and try to get it out of the, get your skin tone out of the black if you're quick enough about it. Like I just did.
Trying to keep a straight line, sort of.
It's hard to do straight lines around
Sorry,
curves. So try something for me, Dave. So when you're painting your eye, instead of taking your brush and brushing around the eye, take your brush and kind of work it back and forth closer like that.
Let's try.
Oh, I actually painted on her eye. Wow.
The good thing about these being resin minis is you can literally just bend the staff out of the way. It doesn't cause a problem.
Yep.
It's like, oh, that
They're
staff's in the way. It's not in the way anymore.
Pretty notorious for being able to bend back, which is nice.
I just realised I was doing that thing again where I wasn't painting on camera.
I mean, you have a lovely wet palette, but I think we all kind of want to see what you're painting.
Oh, it's tricky.
Don't be afraid of taking your time. This is not something that you have to do fast and quick paint strokes on. Just be nice and slow.
So, Leia, coming back to your commissions,
Yes.
how many eyeballs do you paint a week?
Ooh, considering the fact that I probably paint 2 miniatures a day, for 5 days a week, probably 10. Unless I'm working on a Hydra, that's a lot of eyeballs. I was very done with eyeballs after I got commissioned to do a Hydra. That was a lot of eyebrows. I would say probably an average of 10 to 12 sets of eyeballs. So a lot. 20, what is that, 20 to 22 eyeballs? I can do maths.
Is there anything that you dislike painting more than anything else when it comes to like commissions and stuff?
Not particularly. I've painted a little bit of everything. I enjoy doing monsters now.
Yep.
Because I can airbrush them, which makes it a lot faster. I did not used to have an airbrush machine. I wish I'd had that when I did the Hydra, actually.
Yeah.
Because it comes with like 5 heads and then 5 sets of 2 heads, which is insane. It's insane. It's more heads than anybody should have to paint ever.
How much quicker do you think painting with an airbrush is to painting with a brush?
It depends, I suppose, on what I'm painting. I think I probably would have cut my time in half if I had my airbrush when I did the Hydra, just because it was a lot of painting over scales and whatnot, and the airbrush has definitely made doing large areas much quicker. When I did Tiamat, I think I put her together and had her painted in about 2 weeks. Whereas if I had to hand paint her, she probably would have taken me about a month to 1 month and a half. Especially since this was the Tiamat that I have was it's really a Tiamat. It's a knockoff Tiamat. Was a Reaper miniature, so it wasn't pre-primed. So I would have had to prime by hand and then paint by hand everything. But because I had my airbrush, I cut a lot of that time out. Because if you airbrush correctly, everything dries pretty quickly. So it's definitely saved me a lot of time getting that kind of stuff done.
Do you find then on a particularly long paint, if you are using the airbrush, you don't tend to get as demoralized as much?
Yeah,
it's thing for so long.
Yeah, it's a lot less daunting when it's like, oh man, like when I did her wings by itself, the wings took me 2 days to do, and that was because I airbrushed them a couple of different colors before I really settled on a style that I enjoyed. It's looking really good, Dave. I like that.
Cool. Thank
Joe,
you very much.
Sorry, Joe. I was talking to Joe. Dave, yours looks good too.
Oh.
Sorry. Joe was holding his, but then I looked at your name and everything went out the window. But yeah, going back to your question, Steve, I think it would have taken me at least a week to do the Tiamat wings if I had painted them with paintbrushes. Just because they are massive wings. The wings are bigger than both of my hands put together. And if I would have had to airbrush, or if I would have had to paint all of that by hand, it would have been a much more daunting task. But having the airbrush, I was able to do the webbing of the wings. I did hand paint all of the fingers of the wings, but that was like nothing. It was like a pittance in comparison to what it would have taken me if I had done the entire thing by hand.
Yeah.
So I've got my gal's eyes done. Stop focusing on that piece of lint. Nope. Maybe. I don't know what my camera finds so interesting about what's going on in the background. There we go. Every time somebody looks up.
Yeah,
that's good.
looking good.
That's really good.
It's like those nice thin lines.
I need to get my lines thinner. But yeah, that.
So like I said, that technique of taking your brush and instead of painting around the eyes, kind of just slowly working it up towards the eye is it definitely helps. Get it nice. There's a nice thin line right there, Dave. There you go. Perfect.
I'm learning. I'm painting. I'm learning.
I would hope you're learning. It'd be really sad if I sat here talking the entire time and nobody learned anything.
Just playing PlayStation, really. I find this bit harder than the actual when we were doing the eyeball.
I just realised I've been muted. I don't know for how long, so I do apologise for that. I've been speaking to you all, but it's been muted.
No, we were just ignoring you.
Yeah.
So I've been asking you questions and stuff.
Oh, of course, I'm looking down, so I can't see when somebody's talking to me.
So yeah, so you said you're playing in 3 games at the minute.
So I'm actually playing in four different D&D games. Yes.
Okay.
3 of the 4 I am in. I am in the same game as Eric Mengi, was what I had said earlier. He DMs 2 of the games that I'm in, and then he is a player in one of my games. Because I finally picked up DMing again. Yay!
Nice.
Well done.
Oh lordy, it's been I haven't been a DM in probably 2 years, because that's how our normal home game is. Me and my partner, we switch on and off every other campaign, so neither of us have to be the forever DM.
Yep.
And so because of COVID and everything like that, it really put a damper on us being able to play all together. So the campaign that probably should have ended probably about a year ago is still going on.
Nice.
So he's been DMing for 2 years, so I'm a little rusty right now. But I'm playing. Oof.
DMing is the most fun, stressful thing that you can do.
Oh yes, it's the funnest, most stress I could ever put myself through. Thankfully, I've got a group of mostly ladies. I've got all ladies and then Eric Mengi, which is very, very fun. Because I've never been in an all girls game where it's just been pure shenanigans, and I'm just very much about it.
Nice.
It's like, all right, guys, we're having a serious moment. Somebody would make a joke, I would giggle, everybody else would giggle. It's like, all right, cool. I prepared a bunch of stuff for us today, but we got about half of it done because I can't stop laughing.
Yes.
But you know, that's fine. It's fine. If I get to go home at the end of the day, and everybody's had fun, that's all that matters to me. So, but that game is a lot of fun. It's I'm running a module called Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, which is a Greek-based RPG for D&D for D&D 5e. Actually, hey, lean over here for a second. This is the book. It's really pretty. I know it's really small for everybody.
You can
really
switch
pretty.
your camera around if you want to.
Oh, we could switch my camera, so no one has to look at my
You have the power.
my miniature that's done. I'm gonna have real talk while you guys finish your miniatures. So this is Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. It's super cool. It's got a lot of really cool Greek style art in it. Let's see if I can find a cool piece of art here. Like here's where'd you go? Sorry, here we go. A nice like Grecian styled centaur.
Nice.
So like centaur
That's nice,
druids. So a lot
That's
of really
really
cool
cool.
art. If you appreciate Greek mythology and like kind of the place or like the stories that came out of Greek mythology, this is the perfect book. It's a 1 to 15 campaign book. Everybody's having a lot of fun with it. That's really cool. Then I've got a Strahd game and a regular home game where we play Princess of the Apocalypse. That one's the one that's been going on for almost 3 years now. It's fine.
Nice.
We love it. It's almost over, I think. And then I am in a streaming game, finally. Or I shouldn't say finally. I'm in a streaming game, finally.
Well, you saying that, we are, as Badgers, we will be soon, I think within the next couple of weeks, announcing our new games.
Oh, yeah.
And we have guest spots as well as regular player spots.
Wow.
So, if you would like to play, it'd be an afternoon for you, but
Yeah.
and bring your hubby, he is welcome.
Hubby works nights, unfortunately. So, like, around the time that we're playing, he's sleeping. Or the
Fair
time, like right now, if it weren't for the fact that he had off last night, he would be sleeping right now. Unfortunately. But yeah, you have my Twitter. You know where to find me. You know I'm interested. I love playing with you chaos beans. I love it.
Cool.
I love it. I think last night when I was on Good Morning RPG with Matt, and we were talking about Vaesen or whatever we want to call it. I think I was like, the only regret that I had about Vaesen was because it was the first time I had ever streamed ever. I was very quiet. I was very reserved. And like in the game that I'm streaming right now with Games Tavern, I am all sorts of chaos. I'm very talkative. They can't get me to shut up. I think that's the only regret I have is not being a little bit more vocal and having more confidence in myself. But look at me now. I can't shut up. I feel like I've run my mouth for 2 hours.
It all comes with experience, doesn't it?
Dave, your eyes are looking really good.
I think
You're getting
this-
that technique
the
down
second
of
one,
getting like
yeah. The second one looks better, I think. You know, the extra practice.
Yeah, it definitely needs a little extra practice, but you're in the right direction.
Yeah.
You're definitely going the right way.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. And it's a strange effect because it really does stand out.
Mm-hmm.
It makes such a difference.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. And I know like on camera it's really hard to tell like from here, but like when you get real close to her, it's not going to focus because it's on my face, but it does make a difference like when you see it in person. Like looks very nice.
That's cool.
But yeah, if you work a little bit more on, and it's the same thing for when you're painting 28mm like regular miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've talked before, it'll be way less more about making sure that like the irises are centered or anything like that. Like I would have just taken a medium green if you're doing a regular size miniature. Like where'd you go? Like these guys, these like regular size miniatures compared to like what we were doing today. All you do is take that little line right down the center or wherever you're gonna go with your eyes. You do the black just like we did on these guys. And if you work more with taking your paintbrush and instead of painting this way with the brush,
Mm-hmm.
take your brush with the bristles this way and then just slowly work it towards the crease of the eye.
Yeah.
You tend to get a much cleaner look when you do something like that. Joe, I saw your mini and it does look really good.
Yeah, there's a spot on the forehead that just won't take any wash.
It won't take any wash.
Yeah, it's just
Is it
running them.
dry? I know
Yeah.
that's a dumb question, but
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna leave it on there and just hold a mini in this direction so that it just
Yeah, there you
stays
go.
there.
Steve, I really like that fluorescent green on that hair. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it, but I really like it now. Like with the eyes, I think it looks really cool.
Is that
Thank
what green is it?
No,
In the
it's not,
Vallejo.
it's not the SKP now. This is the livery green.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what I was
'cause-
using for eyes.
Because I use that on my Necron rocks because it is the brightest green I've ever seen.
It is very bright.
It's super, super bright. You guys are all going in the super right direction. I'm very proud of you guys.
There we go. It's such a bit of a tan. Might just be because the washes are
Mhm.
drying.
I mean, once you put like if you put other colors on her,
Oh yeah.
it'll blend right up. It looks really nice. I like that blue that you put in her eyes. That's the blue I should have used. Mm-hmm.
Which
Yep.
blue did you use?
Me. Magic.
What, like, you used magic blue. And what one did you use? Like the imperial blue.
I used Vallejo's dark Prussian blue. I tend to, for some reason, I tend towards like darker colors. And it's like, once you get the black in it, it's like, that person looks like they have black eyes. But you don't know what? Doesn't matter. They're like, the eyes are microscopic.
Yep.
It's the thought that counts.
It's because of the style of these, because they're not the sort of weather-worn
Mhm.
minis. Would you wash and dry brush them, or would you highlight using the edge?
I would do my tried and true wash and then dry brush. Yep. Just because that's just what I do. I guess if I think it might be kind of cool. I might sell shade later.
They're looking good, Dave.
Yeah, I feel like that was intense. Just doing that, getting that, trying to create that shape.
But I think so. I know you say that your second one is better, but I think your first one looks better.
Yeah, I'm just kind of. I think the first one now has those kind of thinner lines.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the second one's still darker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of.
See what
it's
you
such
can
a
do.
great effect. That's the thing. It just
It
looks
is.
amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how you go about that. So, and if anybody wants to look into this a little bit more, what is it? GM Lee, from Mage Productions. He's the one that I actually learned the original technique from, the one where you do the little slits down the eyes. But the way that I've adapted my style is from watching his YouTube videos where he shows how he paints faces. So yeah, I definitely recommend his stuff from Mage Productions, because that's why I paint my eyes the way I do. I'm really impressed. You guys did really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Cool.
you. The other person that does the same technique that's really good to watch is have you seen Gorilla with a Brush?
Yes, actually, I
Yeah.
love his work.
Yeah.
I wanted to take his class because I think he does classes.
Yeah, he does.
And he had one on realistic tattoos on miniatures. And I was just like, oh, that looks so cool. It'd be so cool to like paint awesome tattoos on your characters and make them look like they were actually in that person's skin instead of just like stuck on there.
I I did tattoos.
Yes, he does. Yeah. With what?
A Sharpie.
Yes, nothing wrong with that. It looks wicked.
I did that when I was about 15.
I got. Well, not on my own, on the miniature. On the miniature, I didn't just go round. Hi, yeah. It's real. It's a Sharpie.
Oh, when Steve shines his light on his hair, it glows. And it makes my heart so happy.
Right, I think it's time. Let's do a judging. We said we weren't going to, but we're gonna do a judging.
You told me I didn't have to, but I like them all.
There can be only one.
No, this is
know
not
the rules.
Highlander.
You know the rules. Although I have
Right.
two.
For how bad that film is, I really like Highlander.
That film is
How
so
bad
bad
it
I
is.
fell asleep.
Yeah.
Really?
It's an amazing film.
It's so good.
We
was the
we
worst.
grew up with that.
Yeah.
That was the film.
It didn't make any sense.
Look, you live forever. You're bored.
The
Cut people's heads off.
casting didn't make any sense, but yes, it was still a good film.
And then in the second film, everyone became aliens, and everyone's like, "You what?"
Yeah.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
And then they made a TV series, and then there was another.
Apparently, they're going to be remaking the movie.
Are they?
Yeah, they're redoing it, aren't they? Yeah.
Maybe
That's
they'll
what I heard, yeah.
maybe they'll cast a Spanish person for the Spaniard instead of a Scottish person.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Oh,
Right.
I think it's fair to Steve
minis.
because you guys painted 2 when he painted 1.
Because I painted one earlier. Didn't do the eyes. I'm still
Dave, you
just
can
fretting over doing the eyes.
only pick one to put forward as your champion.
Then
You must choose-
I will do the one that we've all done.
Okay,
So
you
it's
must
just-
choose a champion.
There can be only one. There we go. There is the staff and sword. And she's looking at you mean.
Oh my gosh.
I do like the outlines around yours, Steve. That's really cool.
Oh, I don't want
My
to pick.
only regret is that eye on the right hand side I've done too small. And I'd just done it about a third bigger. It would have looked correct, I think, size was.
It might be the angle, but I think it looks all right. But maybe that's just me.
Because it's just the edge is just there.
Oh yeah, when you turned her, it's like, oh, yep,
Yeah.
now I see it. Oh,
My one follows you, look.
I hate you. I don't want to have to choose. I like them. Oh, you guys all did such different things.
Wouldn't it be fun if you just had googly eyes and just go booga 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 booga?
Yeah, totes.
You get dazed.
Drawing out the
oh,
eyes and sticking googly eyes.
Can I? You all won. You all win. Everybody wins. You guys all did such incredible work. Like, I don't want to have to choose because I like them all for different reasons. Like, I think that Dave, your like actual your corneas and your irises look really, really good. I think Steve's like lining is really, really nice. I think Steve's composition with like the skin color, the eyes, and the hair. I think that's just that is really well done. I don't have to pick. I feel like a mother. I can't pick between my children. All right, there are no favorites here. I refuse. I'm sticking to my guns on that.
Fair enough. We all win.
You all win.
Because it includes me. So
Everyone gets a participation reward.
there we go. We all get home with a trophy. Cool. That is really, really good. I'm gonna continue to try to follow those rules.
It'd be cool to see what everybody else does with their miniatures later in the week. I'll actually try to paint the rest of mine.
Oh, mine won't be painted this week.
You can swap your cameras over, Steve and Joe.
I'm looking. I've enjoyed doing them. because they're that little bit bigger. So it was good.
Cool. Right, we
Yeah, this is
shall
good practice.
bring it to. It was an interesting discussion about Highlander. Baron said that yes, in the third film they forgot about aliens. That's because Mario Van Peebles basically tried to remake the original and failed. And then we had the TV series where there can only be one other. And yeah, it went on and on and on.
Baron wants to see a close up of mine real quick, so I'm gonna switch mine
Go for it.
Yeah, that's
mine
true.
over real quick. Oh, let me get my piece of paper because apparently that's the only way it works now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That looks really, really sharp.
Yeah.
I like the way you've got the heavier lines on the top and
Mhm.
the centre of the eye as well.
Yeah,
That is good.
because I get some nice eyebrows in there. She's gonna look sharp. I think I might touch up the bottom lines a little bit because I did mess up just a smidge, or I might leave it. I think it looks really cool.
It does.
Right on. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
Fantastic.
Just realised she's got her ears poking for her hair. Didn't notice when I painted everything else.
I did realise that at the last minute.
Cool. Right.
I enjoyed that.
Thank you
That
very
was
much.
really good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's really good.
Awesome. No problem. I'm glad
Thank
I was
you for
able
joining us again.
to teach you guys some cool stuff.
And we have we will be restarting the official Great British Brush Off, the regular series, season 3, end of July, early August. So stay tuned for all of those where I get even more time to learn new skills and new things. And we've got a few.
Man, I'm so excited.
So Leia is back on that one as well, I think. Are you back on that one? I think
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna be
I think-
painting Alchemist. I think.
Yes, that was it. So we're
Real
doing
cool.
Whiz Kids, Pathfinder Battles, Deep Cuts, Wave 15 with Brush Off Season 3. But between then, until we get there, because obviously we're only just really into June, we've got a few weeks to go, and we'll be doing some more of these Technique specials.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out. And I hope everyone you enjoyed it. If so, let us know. But until then, bye everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
I'm gonna stop waiting.